You wanted the best. You've got the best podcast. The hottest podcast in the world. The Chris Voss Show, the preeminent podcast with guests so smart you may experience serious brain bleed. The CEOs, authors, thought leaders, visionaries, and motivators. Get ready. Strap yourself in. Keep your hands, arms, and legs inside the vehicle at all times, because you're about to go on a monster education roller coaster with your brain. Now, here's your host, Chris Voss.
Folks, Voss here from thechrisvossshow.com. Ladies and gentlemen, the only thing that makes it official. She doesn't want to give up. She just wants to take over the whole show. So when our lady sings, that makes it official. Welcome to the big show, my family and friends. Today, we have an amazing young lady we're going to be talking to about her books on the show. But in the meantime, remind yourself that we need to get everyone you know. Just walk down the street and start door knocking. Tell your friends, family, and relatives. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, LinkedIn.com/Chris Voss, YouTube.com/Chris Voss, and what's the other one? LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook.com/Chris Voss. Remember, we're the oldest living podcast in existence that still does 1 to 2 new shows a day. Opinions expressed by guests on the podcast are solely their own and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the host or the Chris Voss Show. Some guests of the show may be advertising on the podcast, but it is not an endorsement or review of any kind. Today's featured author comes to us from bookstolifemarketing.co.uk. With expert publishing to strategic marketing, they help authors reach their audience and maximize their book success. Our guest today is Beth Eades Jones. She is the author of the book called From Disaster to Destiny. We're going to get into some of the insights of her book and forthcoming books as well. It's a post-war mail-order bride story of love, loss, and new beginnings in the Wyoming Territory. They had mail-order brides back then. Wow, that's cool. Nowadays, you see it all over these apps and stuff. We're going to get it with her. She became interested in writing as a teenager, but didn't pursue it actively. She grew up on a farm and especially loved working with horses. She sang and performed quite a lot, but never professionally. The need to express and inform became stronger as life went on. She recently wrote 2 works of fiction. Both are based on central values of the Christian faith, along with American history. Both are inspirational romances. She likes to read such works and tried to pattern her new endeavors after that. Welcome to the show. How are you, Beth?
I'm doing fine. I'm so glad to get to be here.
We're so glad to have you. Give us your .com's website. Where do you want people to find out more about you on the interwebs?
There's a lot of places, especially where my book is going to be introduced. I've got a new one coming out. It's actually the same story, but I always longed for the opportunity to make it better. I actually had From Disaster to Destiny published in January of 2021. Mm-hmm. So it's been out there for a while.
Yeah.
And I recently found it even on eBay.
Yeah.
But anyway, I really wanted to do a better job of this. And I really never thought I would have the opportunity. But when I got an email and a call from Books to Life Marketing and got a very wonderful review from a gal that works for them by the name of Sarah Lopez, it encouraged me to just go again.
Oh.
Do a do-over, do another one, and this time make it the way you want it to be.
Make it the way you want to be.
I don't know how many opportunities people get to do this, but I'm so grateful.
So give us a 30,000 overview of what's inside this book, what the protagonists are up to, et cetera, et cetera.
It starts out with a man that was in the Civil War, wounded in battle. He had a head wound and he had amnesia for 8 years.
Wow.
And it pictures him coming back home to Centerville, which is right outside of Charleston, South Carolina. And I put, as life goes on and you kind of know people and you do things in places and all. I had an uncle who lived in Charleston, South Carolina for 30 years. He grew up in Kansas, but moved there because his wife was sick with multiple sclerosis and that climate would be better for her. And he lived there for all of his life. He became a real estate tycoon and everything. And so I thought, I got to have something going on with Charleston, South Carolina because of Uncle Jack. So that's why this young man, his name is Paul, is from Charleston, South Carolina, but he suddenly gets his memory back all at once, bang, and that can happen. I've heard that people have amnesia even for a long time. Suddenly, just come back, and this is what happened to our hero. So anyway, here we are, and he's home, and then he finds out that his girl that he thought would always be there is gone.
Oh,
because she would become a mail order bride.
Wow.
To a man in Montana.
What?
And long story short, he gets on the train. He gets there. It's too late. Broken heart. Can't do anything about it now. Honorable people. And so he didn't have any hope for his life at all. He didn't have any idea what he'd do next. God help. He ends up in a small town called Lowell, North Wyoming. An avalanche stops the train he's going home on. He decided might as well go home because his folks missed him. He's an only child.
Yeah.
And, they need him and all. And so he's going back home. An avalanche stops him. So he gets stuck in Lowell, Wyoming. And there is where he meets Paulette. And Paulette turned out to be not a mail order bride, after all, from Alabama. They both lost people in the Civil War. And she lost her dad and her intended in the Civil War. And it shows that, you see, I'm a Northerner. I've always been a Northerner. Kansas is a battleground for free or slave. Well, bloody Kansas. It was awful. The northern half of Kansas is awful. After the first begun right there of the Civil War. Anyhow, here we are. And Paulette goes out there as a mail order bride, but that didn't work out. So here she is. What am I going to do now? They end up finding each other. And it's just great how it turns out. But it shows that I think the title is about right. From disaster to destiny. You get an impossible situation. War can bring it on. A devastating fire can bring it on. A horrible accident can bring it on. A diagnosis of cancer or something can bring it on. So what do people do with that? This shows that you don't have to lose faith, that you don't have to give up, that you can go forward and know there's something good, that you have a good destiny ahead, because I'm a Christian and so is my husband and our family. And we don't just go to church, live it. We try to live it. And faith is something that people need. And it's not pie in the sky, God's watching you, that kind of thing. And so I was trying to bring that out in my book.
And now, what was the reason you chose the setting of the Civil War for this?
I don't know. I read a book about it, and I thought, why did anybody think that was a good thing? We should not have had to fight that Civil War. Yeah,
Southern oligarchs, pretty much the ones who ran that war, and everybody had to pay for the rich guys to.
And you see, Chris, that happens now.
Yeah, not when the one thing man can learn from his history is that man never learns from his history.
See, that's that part. But anyway, but I wanted to change it. I made some stupid mistakes. I'd never done this before, little typos, and I let them go. And at the end of 2020 was a horrible time.
Yeah, it was tough.
For everybody.
It's definitely weird.
Yeah. So anyway, that's why, but I got a chance to do it over again. So I'm changing the name. It's the same but different. And the book is the same but different. It's from to disaster from destiny. So I've turned it around. To disaster from destiny. It's the same thing. And the story is the same, and the characters are the same, and the outcome is the same, but I've made it so I could be proud of it. But you can't be proud of it yourself, you know what I'm saying? I had to be proud of my own work.
Yeah. Now, one of the themes of the story is loss of family, identity, home, and hope. That's a lot of loss to take on. That sounds like my 2008. And how did you emotionally connect with these struggles writing the novel? What did you pull from your history, experiences?
Too common, but I was a young divorcee with 3 young children.
Oh, wow.
So that kind of set me up for thinking maybe life isn't easy. I knew it wasn't easy, but maybe life isn't going to be like I thought it would be. Maybe it's going to be totally different. What now, God?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people, they think that life is easy and fair, and I don't know who the hell raises them to think that, but somebody failed them, and life isn't fair, and life isn't easy. It's a survival game, pretty much, yeah. And so you get into it with all the stuff about what goes on with the Civil War, and many historical novels talking about this war focus on battles and politics, but your story highlights the people affected by the war. Why did you make that choice in your book?
Well, it's because it happens. It just does. People, anyhow. Not about industry. It's not about who has how much money, who has much influence. It's people. And we're all people, and we all live on this planet. And why can't we just be good to each other?
Yeah, why can't we all just get along?
Yeah, I understand what that old Indian saying. How you can't judge a person until you walk a mile in his moccasins. An old Indian thing I heard when I was a kid. You can't judge a person. You better not unless you go walk a mile in his moccasins. Ever heard that?
No.
Isn't that good?
I think I have. Yeah.
It's old.
My ADHD was kicking in. So it's a story of life, living, survival, and redemption. That's why we love these stories, is because hopefully they have a good ending and all the challenges are resolved, the cathartic moments are resolved. And so we like these stories because it gives us a light at the end of the tunnel, I think, maybe.
The tunnel, absolutely.
We all sometimes need a light at the end of the tunnel, and hopefully it's not the freight train coming your way, to quote Metallica.
That's where hey, Chris, that's where faith comes in.
You do have to have some faith. That's the beautiful part about human beings, is their hope. And if it wasn't for that, I don't know, I think we'd be unredeemable for that matter. Yeah. Was there a particular character in the book whose emotional journey felt especially personal or meaningful to you as an author?
I don't know for sure. It's probably my heroine. It's probably Paulette. There's a couple other women in there, but I think probably she is the main one. I've got a couple of sisters that are in middle age, and one of them's a widow, and the other one is not a widow, but they're sisters, and they have a good conversation about things, including this couple that ends up in the same boarding house. I think it's mostly Paulette, because she had what now? What? Nothing to live for. Here of course, I had the responsibility of 3 young children and no really any good means of support. But people in my church and people in my family came together, and people I didn't even know came together to help me when my husband was ex was AWL at that time. We need each other whether we like it or not.
You gotta roll with the punches sometimes, because if you don't, you're just gonna get the hell beat up. So you might as well learn to roll with it, as it were. Now, you have a line in here: "War is truly hell." What message are you trying to send on the human cost of war to people?
One thing that I have in a little bit newer edition, I just kind of tweaked it some and add a little bit here and there, flavored it up some. I think it'll be a more fun read than the original one. But it is. Can you imagine? I have a son who was he was Air Force, but he wasn't actually hand-to-hand combat. But I also know some guys that were in Vietnam that were. And
killing another human.
What do you think it would be like?
Yeah. Killing another human being has an indelible imprint that it makes on you. It's especially if you're doing it for, I suppose, if you're doing it for your own enjoyment and you're some sort of serial killer, that's a different. But I was watching recently a guy who was on a podcast who'd been a Navy SEAL, or maybe still is a Navy SEAL. Actually, I don't think he ever stopped being a Navy SEAL, but he was talking about hand-to-hand combat and death right there. And he was talking recently about how he shot the father because the father had a bazooka or a Uzi, and you were not supposed to have those in Iraq. They were banned. And so if they caught you with one, they just take you out because they figured you were up to no good. And they take out the father, and then they go check the body, and then they watch the family. They'd have to take the family out of the house, and the family would be screaming and crying. And he's like, you can literally see the hate in the kids' eyes that you've just made 3 new terrorists. And they don't understand that it was either him or the sniper. And it war is hell. And he talked about it. He goes, it changes you. It changes you, and you're going to have to live with it. And you've got to be careful. You have to be careful how you deal with it, too.
Yeah, it does. It does. And Paul lost his memory, but in a way he was glad, because one thing I put in there is he was telling his parents, he said, I didn't know who I was. I had no idea about my own life, but I felt sorry for the people. But he was helping in the hospital. They didn't know what else to do with him. And I say that in the story. So he assisted with patients. And he said, I connected with the soldiers because they're the ones that suffered war the most. And then the families next. And but of course, that's how it works. That's just how it works.
Yeah. Definitely.
But this other one is going to be just as good, or it's going to be better. I'm going to be proud of it. That one didn't even care so very much because I really didn't. I wasn't proud of it, but I'm going to be very proud of this one, and it should come out the last week of this month.
Okay. So it's coming out soon. So send us a link when that does come out so we can add the link to it for the thing. Do you want people to buy the book that I'm currently looking at on Amazon, or do you want them to wait for the next book, or maybe they just click both?
We could do both. We could do both. Out. And I'll get my list. Hang on, I'm going to get my list. I got 1 minute.
Okay. And we'll get a list of something here, I think.
Nothing like being prepared for anything, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
This one is going to be available on Amazon Kindle, Apple Books, Google Books, and Ingram Spark. All those.
And people will be able to talk to you on your website or follow on your website. Do you have a newsletter or something?
I don't right now, but that's one of the things I'm doing, setting it up. I had one some years ago called Basics and Best, and it was all about going back to nature, going back to the basics. I even told how you could even use baking soda and vinegar for almost everything. I had that on there. Everything under the sun I had on Basics and Best. And I see it's still out there. George, my husband George says, oh, still there. You can get it going again. So we'll see.
Yeah. Do you remember your what do they call it? The passwords?
Username. Password, not right now. I need to be getting that done again, but no, I haven't. It's coming. It's coming. Nice. It's got a new life on it. It's like giving me new life. It's a good feeling. Good feeling.
Were there any prior or other future books you're working on that you have plans for? Maybe a series or anything like that?
I had somebody ask me about this. Are you going to have a series of Paul and Paulette? And I said, I don't think so, but I am on my next one, which should be coming out in the spring. And I haven't settled on the exact title for that yet, but it's called, I think it's going to be Marvelous Missions Mandated. Oh. And it starts it's 20 years later than this one. It's in 1892, and it starts in London and ends up in Philadelphia.
Oh,
and in it is a lawyers, barristers doing some pro bono work that are involved with the newly emerging Salvation Army, which actually started in East London. And also in connection with adoption of a little boy who was heir to a fortune, and how that could develop. And this couple coming over here and what happened to them at Ellis Island. Oh. And the things that came about on Ellis Island. And I want to tell you something, Chris, and everybody will think this is pretty neat. We have a touch lamp. It's got eagles on it, touch lamps, all kinds. We have a touch lamp that has eagles on it flying over the mountains. We love that. But I was writing this Marvelous Missions book here 2 years ago, I think, and I was sitting there just writing on a pad. And I was writing the section where they're all coming and see, everybody didn't have to go to Ellis Island. The rich people didn't have to go. But anybody that might have a disease of any kind, even a touch, had to stop. Or, of course, the steerage passengers on these steamships had to all stop at Ellis Island. I just found interesting things. Anyway, they had to stop at Ellis Island because this young lawyer's mother, they had to come along, had a cough. And so the doctor wouldn't free her to go on, to New York City. So they had to stay here. They all stayed because of her. And anyway, the doctor had examined her, and my eagle lamp went on, and it was sitting right there in this. My eagle lamp went on by itself.
Really?
And it had done that some. But there it goes. It went on by itself. And that's interesting. I just left it on. And so pretty soon, 2 or 3 days later, she's getting better. It's all cleared. They're leaving. They're on a boat, heading on in now. And someone's passing out the paper all about the Statue of Liberty and what it says at the bottom, the poem at the bottom, bring me your, how that goes. I used to quote it, but bring me the refuge, there's your steaming shore and all that. And bring them all. And then his name was Blake and her name was Margie. And they read that and they thought of the same thing at the same time. I hope that America isn't sorry for that someday.
Yeah. There's probably a whole list.
And the Eagle lamp went off by itself.
Really? Wow.
Yes.
Maybe that you could put that in the story or something.
I'm thinking of putting out a footnote on this one. And this one, I'm thinking I'm going to have a sequel to it.
Ah, that might be really good. People love series. That's one of their favorite things.
They do.
They love series and they love all that good stuff that goes on there. Let's see. Now, you talked about mail order brides. Did they? I wasn't aware they had mail order brides back then. Did they? They really had them in the Civil War?
Oh, yes, sir. It's a big deal post-Civil War.
How do you know what she looks on? They have them on dating apps and the internet now, so you can look you can see what they look like. But photographs were still in infancy back then.
Yeah, they were.
How did you know what you were going to buy on the mail?
Yeah, true. They just had to go on.
Wow.
Told you it didn't look like a post.
That could be go one way or the other. You might end up with a dude or. I don't know.
Depends on how desperate everybody is.
Yeah, I guess if you're already mail order, you're probably at the desperate stage, and
yeah, it was something.
You just have to take what you can get at that point.
I think it turned out good for a lot of people, though. When you're searching, we got 2 boys and 2 girls. The oldest son, he's into genealogy and that kind of thing. Yeah. I don't think I've had anybody in our past a mail order bride, but it might have been. I don't know.
Yeah. That would be wild. You don't even know who you're going to get. You're just like, I don't know. I'm getting a wife. What does she look like? I don't know.
Yeah.
What? Yeah.
I'll never say she's skinny as a toothpick or fat as a barn door. She'd never say that.
You brought the fat up, so I'll pull this joke that I had put to the back. But yeah, I was like the one. I guess the old trick back then was you check with the shipper of what your purchase is going to be and see what the shipping was. And that way you can kind of get a good idea of weight.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I get it.
You're the one who brought up the fat part, so I roll with it. I was gonna leave it alone.
It's okay. I guess you're supposed to do that.
You don't know. You could get a dog. You could get really. And back then, what are you gonna do? Get in your cart and drive 200 miles for 3 months and to complain? I don't like the wife I got, or something, or she doesn't like me. That's even worse. She doesn't like you.
The trouble is, divorce wasn't back then, but now it's like changing shoes. It's just not, or don't even bother. This is
they file about every 7 years. I don't even know what that. They really need to put a rim shot drum roll on sitting next to the marriage thing when they go, and I'll stick with you through sickness and health and forever. Like, no one does that anymore.
You know what? That's why a lot of people write their own vows.
Yeah. Like anyone's going to follow that either way. The average marriage lasts 7 years now.
And the poor children. Yeah.
Somebody should do a test. There's not enough data that we collect on marriages, and there's probably a reason for that. But someone should do a test. And if people make their own vows, what is the odds of that being a successful long-term marriage compared to people who are too lazy to make their own vows and they just roll with them? Whatever that priest said. I'd be interesting to know the data. I really wish they do everything, because even though divorce rate's pretty high, the people that are in marriages sometimes, I think about 50% of them are miserable.
Stay together, whatever.
And hey, I give you a lot of props if you stay together for your kids, because my parents did, and I'm so glad they did. And I wasn't one of those poor kids who had to deal with that. But they weren't meant to be together either. When they called us about 5 or 6 years after after we'd all left the house, they called us up and they go, hey, we don't want you to be upset, but we're getting divorced finally. And we were just all clapping, going, yay, you guys finally known what we've known all of our lives. You guys were never meant together.
It's sad, but yeah, it happens.
But I'm glad they did it for us. And we're better for it, I suppose. I don't know. The jury's still out on me, but maybe the rest of the kids are fine.
Talking about that, 2 years after I was divorced, I found a guy by the name of George Jones.
Ah, the George Jones?
Yeah.
The musician? The musician?
Nope. No, I'm not that old. But anyway, my husband came along just at the right time. In fact, someone asked him when he was 18, you think you're going to get married someday? And he said, oh, I don't know, probably. He said, who do you think you're marrying? It'll probably be a woman who is a divorcee or a widow with children.
Ah.
And he did exactly that.
Some guys make great stepdads. They really.
Oh yeah, and we had our own daughter together. She kind of see the whole thing. So, and we've been married almost 49 years.
Congratulations! Yeah, you can hit the big 50 and then call it a day because it's a good round number. I'm just teasing.
I know you are.
I joke that way with all my friends. I got a lot of friends that have been married for a long term. Most of them are their childhood, or not childhood sweethearts. That sounds weird. Most of them are like high school. They're their high school prom loves. Right out of high school, they got together, and they just been together forever since. And those seem to be the relationships that last long. Yeah.
Anyway,
go ahead.
Can I read you the introduction to my Christmas book?
Sure. Now this is a Christmas book. Which title is this one?
It can be any book, but this is the one that I'm going to have ready before Christmas. It's called My Dog Floppy. Floppy. And it's about a crazy dog that I had when I was. Can I read you the first page?
Please do.
Okay. Hello, dog lovers. You're going to love this story. Even though those who do not particularly care for dogs will think this is a fun reading. I'm almost sure of that. The day I turned 9 years old, my dad, I always called him Papa, came home from working at a relative's farm, helping with spring planting, as I recall. When he drove into the yard at our country home northwest of Stockton, Kansas, I ran to the car to see what he might have brought home. He always went to the grocery store on his way through town, and when Papa brought the groceries, there was always something special to eat, such as a half a gallon of ice cream that our family of 6 had to eat right away. We made yummy work of that. Even though it was my birthday, I wasn't necessarily looking for anything special at that moment. But he handed me a shoebox to carry inside that had holes punched in the top of it. Be careful with this, Bethy. There are eggs in it. Eggs don't wiggle around and make puppy sound. So I opened it up, and out jumped a black and white bundle of cuteness. He plopped right down and acted almost dizzy when he walked, and his ears flopped around his little face. So I named him Floppy. He was a mutt, or Heinz 57, as we called mixed breeds back then. His mother was mostly rat terrier, and the daddy dog was mostly beagle. Though no one seemed to know for certain, because he was either a wandering stray or a roaming neighbor dog in the farming community where Floppy was born. We never got a good photo of him, so I drew a picture that I think pretty much what he looked like, and I put that in the book. And this is the first of 6 articles about Floppy. He was no ordinary dog, not by a long shot, so there are lots of stories about him. Here's the first story, and it's not very long. Here is the first story. We got him when he was about 6 weeks old. He grew up on our farm with another dog and assorted barn cats and livestock, cows, etc. One day, when he was about 9 months old, our family of 6 got in our family car and headed into Stockton, about 7 miles away. About a quarter of a mile from the house, I looked out the rear window and saw Floppy running along behind us and fading fast. I told Papa about it. He replied, "Don't worry about him. He will soon get tired and go home." We did our shopping, visiting grandparents and other things, which took about 2 hours, then started for home. As we reached the city limits, to our astonishment, here came Floppy with his tongue hanging out, slowly making his way into town.
He was not going to give up.
No. And how we knew where we went, we never could figure out. He could have reached the highway and gone in the opposite direction or any place.
Yeah.
We stopped and picked him up, the incredibly tired little pooch, and gave him a ride home. That marked the beginning of our little rambling Rose tramp dogs adventures in the world of somewhere out there.
That's a tenacious little dog there. He was
you'll have to get this. This is good.
That was the rat terrier portion breed, right?
A port. Yeah. He was mixed.
He was part. Yeah. Those rat terriers, they're pretty. They lock on. And
they can be tough. Yeah. I got stories about him in battles too, and he is beagle and whatever else. He was about the size of a cocker spaniel or beagle.
Yeah, totally wild. That's wild. And now, as we go out, give people a final pitch out to order up your book, check out your wares, and all that good stuff.
Okay, just go to the places where you can buy it. That's the main thing right now. And then when I get my basic and best backs up, we'll do some more.
All right.
get my website back up, we'll do some more things.
Yeah, get that website up and people can reach out to you and all that good stuff. Thank you very much for coming on the show. We really appreciate you coming on. And what a great story, Beth. From disaster to destiny.
And now it's changed to destiny from disaster.
So watch for that on the Chris Voss Show when that's issued later on this month, which would be July of 2026. Those of you.
No, August.
Or August, I'm sorry. I'm still in July. I'm 4 days in, man. I'm still lagging. I'm still holding on to the end of July. I don't want to see the end of the year come yet.
I hear you.
I'm not ready for Christmas and Thanksgiving.
Yeah, no, I understand. I get it.
So, yeah. But we have to make that caveat because people are watching our videos from 20 years ago. And so every now and then they'll write some comment like, it's not 2020. It already came out. The price isn't the price anymore. It's been 10 years. Sure, it's a lower price on Amazon. Anyway, thank you very much for coming on. We really appreciate it, Beth. Thanks for tuning in. Go to goodreads.com, Chris Voss, and all the crazy places we are on the internet. Order up her book wherever fine books are sold. And we appreciate you guys tuning in. Refer the show to your family, friends, and relatives and all that. We'll see you guys next time.
You've been listening to the most amazing, intelligent podcast ever made to improve your brain and your life. Warning, consuming too much of the Chris Voss Show podcast can lead to people thinking you're smarter, younger, and irresistible sexy. Consume in regularly moderated amounts. Consult a doctor for any resulting brain bleed.